If you've been thinking about investing in Airbnb, but honestly you feel a little scared you might lose money, you're not alone. What if I told you the couple in this episode didn't plan to start an Airbnb until their accountant told them to? And within months, they built a property that made over $73,000 in just 6 months and is now booked out at over 90% occupancy. In this episode, you're going to learn exactly how they went from hesitant investors to running a profitable Airbnb that's already covering their mortgage, and how you can shortcut that same path without the overwhelm. We're breaking down the exact steps they took, from choosing the right market to analyzing numbers to setting up a property that guests can't stop booking, so you can confidently take your first or next step towards financial freedom. Let's jump in.
All right. How did you guys get started in Airbnb investing?
At the urging of our accountant, we needed some tax write-offs, and our long-term rentals really, we don't have a good depreciation schedule there, and he told us that really the only big depreciation left was short-term.
What do you think your year one revenue is going to look like?
From the third week of June last year to the end of the year, we did $73,001.
So that's basically half a year.
But
That's amazing. Is your accountant happy?
yes, this year, right now on the books, we've either received it or it's booked. We're at $84,046.
That's amazing.
That's what everybody wants to hear. Yes, it's a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to do your due diligence. If you can educate yourself, whether you read a book, listen to a podcast, get a coach, know what you're doing, there's just so much opportunity and enjoyment in the investment. I'm passionate about it, but so many people ask me, they're like, why do you do this? I'm like, it's the most amount of money we've ever made for the least amount of work. It's just a good thing.
We're going to have to start looking at number two.
We're sitting here at March 31st, and our mortgage is more than covered for the year.
That's amazing.
Everybody wants to hear
Yeah.
your mortgage is already covered a couple months in on a brand new place in Gatlinburg.
So
Good for you guys. So what were your goals with this Airbnb? Did you set out with, I want something tiny? Did you want something big? Did you want something you could use too?
Yes, the goals were obviously gain a tax advantage and have it pay for itself. I know that was a kind of a big ask, and we looked in several different areas and ended up settling on Gatlinburg because of a year-round market. We actually made an offer on a smaller house. We couldn't get together on numbers, and then our real estate agent took us to the current house and said, let me show you what just a little bit more money will buy you as far as view is concerned. And I was hooked at that point. Tammy was nervous. And
I was skeptical. It was a new build, so it was brand new construction.
Okay. I remember you telling that story. Well, let me just show you a couple things. If we change that budget ever so slightly,
Yeah.
what we could do.
Yeah. We went above the budget, but I think it's paying off.
And I'm a guy, I deal with numbers every day. And as long as the numbers worked, I was comfortable with it. So we kind of regrouped, worked the numbers, and ended up making an offer.
That's a great point. It doesn't matter if it's
Correct.
And I've seen pictures of your Airbnb. It is absolutely beautiful and your views are breathtaking. And
The decor, Tammy gets all the credit for.
kudos to Tammy.
So, Debbie, you said you were a little nervous about the price. What fears did you have as you began your Airbnb investing journey?
So I am not a risk taker. I'm comfortable. Everything is good. This one, on the other hand, polar opposite of me. Definitely a risk taker, business owner. I'm not afraid to step out of there. And it made sense, but I'm just a more conservative type, just go along happily and don't put myself out there in risky situations. But I have to say, did due diligence for sure, figured the numbers, looked at different costs of homes, what that margin looked like if we stayed booked for this period of time or this percentage of time for the year. So I had to believe in the numbers, and they're working, so that's good.
All right. So what I'm hearing is your big fear was losing all the money that you're putting into this investment.
It was a big
And that's
investment. And we're not in our 20s or 30s anymore. So that was really my fear.
And trying to find something that pays its way.
So what, out of all of the things that you did to create this stunning Airbnb, what was the hardest part of your process?
For Tammy, it was probably pulling away for the last time before it went on the market.
I feel you, Tammy. It's hard. It's like, I just made this perfect, unbelievable space and now I have to share it with strangers.
Absolutely. And when we were looking at properties that were furnished, there wasn't that tie there, but it was a new build. And so we picked the final paint color, everything down from purchasing silverware to the bedspreads and comforters and pillows and just everything. You have this vision and you want to make it comfortable and you want to make it interesting and plenty of activities. And so you try to think of every little thing. And then once you've got it perfect, it's ready to go on the market. And like you said, we pulled away that afternoon. I was like, this is it. We spent the last 3 to 4 months because we both work full time. Gatlinburg's almost 4 hours from where we live. And we would leave in the evening. We'd spend the night halfway. We'd go. We'd spend the whole weekend working and just pulling away from that. It was really tough because even though you're excited, you're also thinking, I'm just letting whoever come to this home and stay after all this time and energy we've put towards it. So
We pulled away. She cried, and I was ready to see money. I was ready to see money flow the other direction.
Right? The quicker you can get out of there, the quicker the money can come in, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like Cullen. Billy, what was the hardest part of your process?
I don't know that it's something that sticks out as hard. It was an enjoyable process. Probably the number crunching. We looked, I wanted to invest. He was like, if you're going to the Gulf, I'm out. If you're going to Gatlinburg, I'm in.
That's great.
Easy peasy. And how long did it end up taking you from finding the property to getting it listed live?
We closed in April and went live the third week of June.
Wow, that's a us style kind
Yeah.
of turnaround. And how many bedrooms is that place? It's a big place.
3 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 2 half baths, sleeps 12, including the pull-outs.
So that's not a little 1 bedroom, 1,000 square foot kind of place
Right.
that you just
Yeah.
turned around. That's amazing.
The one thing that made the process a lot easier is I research everything, and I happened to run across your book, Host Coach. So I ordered it and I read it all the way through. We actually then downloaded the book, and then she listened to it as we were driving back and forth, and we were highlighting, and we need to remember this, we need to remember that.
Yeah,
So
we had the book. I was like, oh, stop, pause that. We didn't highlight the book, make a star.
so
Yeah,
that
it was really helpful.
that helped immensely.
Something to do during that windshield time.
Making me
Right.
blush, but also the whole reason we wrote it was to help other people figure out the fastest way to find financial freedom. And in that vein, you said you were crunching numbers, your accountant wanted you to do a short-term rental. Would you say that your investment has been a financial success?
Absolutely. We're extremely fortunate.
We're looking at our calendar, like, when can we go down there? That sort of thing.
And keep a thumb on everything. I truly feel that by handling the rental ourselves, it lends a personable touch to it. So we try to make sure we go down once every 6 weeks. I think that helps in the rental, especially when you're communicating with your guests.
Oh, I can't agree more. And that's what makes Airbnbs different from a hotel. If you wanted a sterile environment where you talk to a front desk clerk that doesn't know you or really care that much about the property, unless it's a super nice place, you go to a hotel. If you want real people who've made somewhere beautiful that can tell you every game in the place and where to go to have fun and to keep your trash in because the bears might be out there,
Right.
that's why you go to the adventure of an Airbnb. You want something different and interesting and connecting.
Well, and to Billy's point, it's about owner's eye, right? We try once a quarter, get down there and get those scuffs off the wall and reorganize the plates and cabinets that your housekeeper's not going to do on a quick turn for you.
Right. We got to the end of the book and we saw they'll do a Teams call with us free of charge. And I thought, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And we talked, and the first 90 days of y'all's service helping us get it up on Airbnb and all that stuff. And I told her after the first call, I said, I got my money's worth of that call.
Ah, there we go. We're trying to add value.
But the processes of the hospitable and the price labs, that has helped immensely.
Yeah, not only does it help you maximize your profit, it also helps you minimize the amount of time you have to do the rote over and over again. So then you get to focus on the fun part of talking to guests that are proposing or having an anniversary or going back in and touching up your decor and adding more snacks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
the fun stuff.
What surprised you the most about being an investor and managing the Airbnb?
That I enjoy it.
Okay. You were just the numbers guy, right? And then
We've enjoyed it. It's been a good team experience for the both of us. I mean, we enjoy it.
We did. We
That's
split the duties. He takes care of the numbers and kind of coordinating different things. People that request to stay extra, he looks at those days, and I coordinate all the communication. If we have any questions or we miss something, both of us are watching that. And are you going to respond? Depending on where we're at. And I just think it works well. It's worked really well.
Well,
All right, fun question. Be honest. Did you make any mistakes as new investors?
we really couldn't put a thumb on one because A, of the homework that we did, B, the host coach book that we had. And before we ever got with a real estate agent, we had, I'd sold real estate when I got out of college. So I'm familiar with how all that operates. So we had actually gone to Gatlinburg 3 or 4 weekends, driving, looking at different areas, looking at styles of houses. We pretty much had it all laid out, do's, don'ts, what we don't like, before we ever got in a truck with a real estate agent. Uh, we have a superb real estate agent.
Absolutely.
He took us around and told us the good points and the bad points of each area. And
He was honest. He's from the area. He's lived there all his life, and so that really helped, I feel like, as well.
mhm.
And we do have some friends that own cabins near where ours is, so we were able to bounce questions off them and what their market looked like around the Chalet Village area where our cabin is.
What I'm hearing is there's no replacement for getting boots on ground. Get out, even if you're not ready to buy this second. Get out, get super familiar with the area, and find an agent that's super familiar
Yeah.
with the area and understands your goals.
Yeah.
But going back to what you
Okay.
said, the boots on the ground, we realized how many of the properties, when you get on those mountains, don't have good parking. And that was one of the key things we looked for when we started searching was so many cabins you could have gotten 2 vehicles in there at most. And so that was one of the things that I would take away from getting out there and looking at the properties before you even align with a real estate agent.
Right. And that's not necessarily going to show up in a listing, right? You've got
Yeah.
to see your surroundings.
You got to, Tammy did more of this than I did, but she read other people's reviews about what people liked. And it became apparent in Gatlinburg, the topography is challenging. I know the house across the street from us, the kitchen is on the 3rd floor. So you have to carry groceries 3 flights of stairs. Where ours sits, you're 3 steps and you're in the main level of the house. So that's big to people. Other people's reviews helped us kind of narrow down some do's and don'ts.
Absolutely.
Super smart. We always tell people to do that, and I think you might be the first people that actually did. Good job.
Even amenities that they mention. Oh, well, that's a good idea. We should think about putting that in ours. We did 2 coffee bars. One's on the kitchen level, right outside the main level master suite, and we have another master suite upstairs that we added a small coffee bar up there as well. And I think they've been a big hit. And that was something I kept seeing over and over. Oh, we enjoyed the coffee. We enjoyed this.
There's 3 levels, there's 3 decks, but the one upstairs is a private deck to the master.
And that's perfect. I mean, if you have 12 people staying and you're the people in the master suite, you're most likely footing the bill, or at least the majority of the bill. To be able to not have to see anyone, make your coffee, and go sit on your deck, that's what vacation is
It's a
all
great
about.
experience. One more final question. What advice would you give our listeners who are thinking about getting started?
Go above and beyond on the homework, the groundwork. One thing we have found out through this process, the cleaning team is the key to success.
Absolutely.
They're your eyes and ears on the ground, and they're tough to find. At least in the Gatlinburg area, they are tough to find.
That's a great piece of advice.
And when you get them, treat them like gold.
Yes. We try to do something quarterly. We have a young couple that takes care of our home primarily. And so we send them a little card with thank yous and here's date night money. It's really paid off to treat them well because the communication's excellent. Another thing I would say is don't be an absent owner. Just in our experience, I think our day-to-day involvement with the guest, answering immediately back to whatever the requests are, just even compliments that they give us. I think that has really gone a long way.
Absolutely. It's a two-way relationship. It shouldn't just be the management company. Everybody knows when it's a management company. If I see the management company name instead of the host name, I am so much less likely to book because I do want the person who cares about the property, cares about me as the guest, and will personally answer my 1 or 2 questions about the property.
Yeah.
So good for you.
We had a guest that was coming through Nashville for a few days, and they wanted to go to the Grand Ole Opry. And there were 4 people, I believe, and they were older. Well, my brother-in-law is head of security at the Grand Ole Opry, so I was able to get him really good tickets, get some backstage experience and things like that. Just a little added value, and those people just 2 weeks ago rebooked with us again.
And I bet they told every single person who asked about their trip about it. That's wonderful.
One thing I would tell people that might watch this, so far we've had nothing but 5-star reviews, but there are the people out there that will test your patience. We'll put it
No.
nicely. We've had one or two that I feel like they knew they were looking for a refund once they got there. They know what they're doing. It happens and it makes us mad.
The good thing
Part
is
of it.
few and far between.
My father-in-law calls them the percent dissatisfied, and apparently it's a thing. Like, no matter what you do, there's always a percent dissatisfied of the population that even if it was like the most perfect thing in the world, they would find something wrong with it. And just knowing that those people exist, I feel a little bit bad for them. I try not to let them ruffle my feathers too much because 99.9% of our guests are amazing.
Yep.
Yep.
Agreed.
We'll go with percent dissatisfied.
It helps. It's a real thing.
Well, thank you guys. This has been wonderful. Appreciate your time.
Thank
you
y'all.
all. We appreciate you.
Are you inspired by Tammy and Billy and want to invest in an Airbnb that covers its mortgage, creates tax benefits, and turns a profit, but still afraid of making mistakes and potentially losing money? If expert guidance to make sure you're making the right decision and fast track the success of your Airbnb investment will give you the confidence to take the leap, that's what we do. Head over to hostcoach.co to book a free 30-minute Airbnb coaching call with us. And remember,
Our joy is in your success.